Hi, it's Yannick. I hope you're doing well. I've been asked several times to make a video about the proper posture to have when playing the saxophone, how to have a good position while playing sax. It's really important because if you don't do this, you'll end up developing injuries and bad habits, obviously, but especially injuries. It's actually happened to me before. I've gotten injured because of bad posture. So I'm going to share that with you as well at the same time. The main thing here, in the end, is to be as natural and as relaxed as possible. With a saxophone in your hands, there's no point in being all tense like this, stressed out, and putting your hands in really unnatural, not relaxed positions. Basically, when you're like this, relaxed, you just bring the saxophone into the middle of that. You shouldn't change, you shouldn't be like this or like that, or be tense, with your fingers all stiff. That's when you'll start to develop bad habits. First of all, here, if we look at the left hand, there are little buttons here. That's not for nothing. It's not for putting your fingers like this. It's for putting the tips of your fingers on. However, you shouldn't be like this, all tense. You really just want to gently rest your fingers very relaxed on the fingerboard. Here. So you don't want to be like this, but at the same time, you don't want to be too much like this either. Alright, so really, the position is to be like this. But you see here, I'm very, very relaxed. Okay. So here, I have my left hand that's going to be here, resting, ready to play the pound keys here, ready to play on the keys here, and my thumb here. Which is going to come. Press down on the octave key, obviously. It won't always be on the octave key. There's a thing here that's used to. Rest your thumb on it. So, you're always going to have this part of your thumb right here. And when you press the octave key, you're just going to do a sort of rocking motion, a kind of pivot, if you will, that will press down on the octave key. So what you shouldn't do is this, like this. You don't want to move like this, you'll lose speed incredibly fast. It's simply about pressing here, I'd say at the joint of your thumb, so that the pivot happens easily. Here too, you need to be very relaxed. I'm very relaxed. Here, I'm not like this. It's really, really, really relaxed. Otherwise, after a while, your hand, you'll feel it. You'll get pins and needles in your hand, and it's going to be really uncomfortable. That's when you'll develop bad habits. So, I'm not like this or like that either. It's really about being in the most natural position possible. Keep that in mind. If you feel tense and unnatural, it's not the right position. You see this with lots of instruments. Actually, tendinitis develops pretty easily on the saxophone. On the violin too. I'm not a violinist, but I've had several friends who've had problems with that. So, it's about staying relaxed. I think I've said it enough. Relax. As for the right hand, it's the same principle. You want to be as natural as possible. So, if your hand is really, really relaxed, you just place your fingers here on top, not like this, really on. The keys, okay. But again, I'm not tense like this. I'm really relaxed, okay. Like this here. And my thumb at the back also shouldn't be in a weird position. That's just to rest the saxophone. You don't support the sax with your thumb. This is what supports your saxophone. Technically, your sax should just be like this, at the right height and all that. And your thumb here at the back is only there to help guide the saxophone and keep it balanced, I'd say. It's not for holding the weight of the saxophone. Sometimes we'll play the soprano sax without the strap. Here. It's not really easy. Sometimes I do it, but I don't like it either because my thumb takes all the weight of the saxophone. So that's not good. I could play like that, but it's uncomfortable. That's why we have this wonderful strap here that we're going to hook on. It's already really tiring. Like I was saying earlier, I actually injured myself because of a bad position on the saxophone. I got tendinitis here, in my wrist. It's because, basically, I was holding my saxophone kind of like this. So when I was practicing for hours like that, all the tension was right here on my wrist. So what did I do? I wore a kind of brace for a few weeks, keeping my wrist really, really straight when I played the saxophone. So I had no choice but to fix my posture. I'm not saying that's what you'll have to do, but if you pick up bad habits, you might end up with tendinitis. And it's really not pleasant because it's actually pretty painful. It kind of limits our practice time if we want to practice a lot. But once that was fixed, I never had any more problems because I keep my wrist straight when holding and playing the saxophone. So that's for your hands on the sax. Now, if we're talking about overall posture, you also don't want to arch too much backwards or forwards. Okay, sometimes you see people playing like this. Sometimes, after a few minutes or a few hours of playing, we tend to hunch our shoulders. You just want to stand up straight. Be relaxed again, natural, alright. And it's the saxophone that should adjust to your position. Not you, okay. If your sax is too low, obviously you'll tend to play like this, and if it's too high, same thing, right. You put yourself in a position where you're comfortable, and then you adjust the height with this. Here, alright. So you see, I'm comfortable like this, so my saxophone will just adjust itself to my position, not the other way around. There's something important I'd like to mention here as well. Right now, as you can see, I'm sitting, and what I've done is I've turned my mouthpiece. My saxophone and my mouthpiece aren't exactly lined up properly. And if I were playing standing up, that would be a problem too. I'd have to change the position. So what I did was I positioned my mouthpiece so that it's vertical with my mouth in the same position. Otherwise, if it were like this, I'd end up turning my head like this. If I were standing, that would be fine. Actually, with the alto saxophone, you can kind of imitate the standing position if you want, since you can put it between your legs. It's smaller than a tenor saxophone. So if I were standing, I'd play my sax like this. You see, I'm really straight. On the other hand, if I put my saxophone to the side, like I would with the tenor sax, then I'm a bit sideways, my head is turned, and that's not right. It works, but do you really want to play like that for a few hours? You might end up with a bit of a sore neck after a few minutes. So what we do is position the mouthpiece, angle it so it's in line with your mouth, so you're in a comfortable position. So that's it for the seated position. That's for the alto sax, and also for the tenor sax when it's to the side. If you're standing with either saxophone, it's the same thing. You'll position the mouthpiece so you're comfortable. If you play a bit like this or a bit like that, it's going to change your embouchure position. Again, the idea is to be really straight, really natural, as comfortable and as relaxed as possible. That's for the alto sax and the tenor sax. Now, if we look at the soprano sax, it's a bit different, I'd say, simply because it's a straight instrument. I don't have a reed, but I'll pretend as if I do. This isn't a clarinet. We're not in that position here, like this. We're going to place the mouthpiece the same way we would for a tenor, baritone, or alto saxophone. So we want to be as natural as possible. Now, we tend to lower our head when playing the soprano sax, at least at first. So you have to watch out for that and try to stay as upright as possible, like this. I don't have a reed, so obviously there won't be any sound. But this is the position I would take if I were playing the saxophone on the panel. And here, with the saxophone on the panel, the thumb can take all the weight. It's not that bad, since it's more the bell that we're going to control. It's not like a saxophone that's straight like this. We're going to play more like this, just on the panel. Having a good position here is super important, because your air column will be freed up. If you're all hunched over like this, or in some weird twisted position, you won't have good breathing, or a good sound. So, we want to help ourselves out. In the end, the instrument is us before it's the saxophone. We're the ones producing. This is just to produce the sound we want. But really, it all comes from us. So, if you have good posture, a good position, your air column will be well placed. It'll be so much easier to get the sound you want. So there you go. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, leave me a like. And if you haven't already, I also invite you to subscribe to my channel. We'll see each other in the next video. Bye.